when we were making the move to subscription, I actually had to cut $100 million from the incentive budget. It was 10x more than we normally had to sign the leaders up for. And I had to get all of the channel leaders on board with the plan. And then we had to go sell it to the partners. So this was one of the examples where I actually used some human-centered design techniques with the leaders to come up with the strategy, talk about priorities. One of the things I learned is to start with first principles. So if you're always arguing over like who's giving back their 1% of the budget, you're having the wrong conversation. Like we had to first level set on what are some guiding principles that we're using to make these decisions about what we want to invest in with our partners. And it led to a totally different conversation with the channel leaders. And we were able to come up with some really great proposals on how we wanted to reallocate the incentive budget and make some bigger moves than we had in the past because we had such a big target that we had to hit for the program. The other thing I learned is if you give people something really scary and hard that they have to do, it's an opportunity to really get everyone aligned as a group on a shared goal. But you can't do that without the strategy and some of the first principles conversations, because otherwise it turns into a food fight where suddenly everyone's thing is the most important and you end up just at a stalemate. So those were some of the things that I really took away from that project. And the thing I'm most proud about is when we went to roll it out to the partners, they actually loved it. So even though we were cutting all this money, because we had talked about the strategic investments we were making and what was most important and what are the things we really wanted the channel to do and had a really clear strategy to back up the incentives, the partners actually felt that was a really amazing program that we were rolling out to them, and they were really excited about it.
Kudos to you and your team and your colleagues for that, because that is not easy to do at all.
I learned a lot.
I'm sure it sounds like you really brought those people into your thinking and into the process.
That's my other big learning is don't underestimate the amount of change that's required when you're trying to do a big transformation, because I could have sat in a room with the finance guy and went back to everyone and said, here's what the budget's going to be, but they wouldn't have wanted to roll that out and no one would have been excited about it. Making sure you're really taking the time to understand what people are worried about, what they're concerned about, how do you really build a plan that they're going to feel good about? That, to me, that's all change management. I generally hate most change management frameworks, but the concept of change and how to lead people through change is something that I think any leader really should spend some time on.